My name is Mary Gaddis, and I'm essentially the project manager for the River Connections project. I'm a private consultant. I work for the city, mostly for the Department of Public Works. So my role in the project was really conceiving the project, like birthing it, I think, coming up with the idea of what the project could be. But then I shared that with other people, and I was able to work with other people and allow them to help the project grow and see their different ideas come into fruition. And so it really was like the process of birthing something and then letting the world just take it over and grow it. Collaborating with the River Connections project has really been one of the most beautiful things in my life over the last year or so. The idea came to me after attending a conference called Taking Nature Black, where I saw art being used as a forum for engaging more people in the work of environmental conservation, restoration. And I was just really moved by the art that I saw. It was like dance and song and poetry, hip hop. It was like all these different things that I was exposed to through this conference. And then after that, we were at an event at Juneteenth, the Juneteenth event at Lancaster County Park, and got the idea to ask some people there to share their stories about the connections to the river, and thought about, let's take those stories and gather more of them.
I'm Stephen Campbell. I'm the Director of Public Works for the City of Lancaster. One of the main reasons that this type of an enterprise is very, very important is not because we're about to need to spend money to solve problems with the river, but if we don't understand why it is important, we don't understand where and why we put our efforts. It's important because of its not only its historical relationship to the people nearby, but how they celebrated it, how they celebrated in it, how they used it as relief, how they used it as a place for celebration. It's important in the mind of the people who grew up around the river. The memories of these people are so fond and wonderful. I'd be hard-pressed to suggest that people had similar or fonder memories in other parts of the city, because the other parts of the city didn't necessarily have a river winding its way through it. When you recognize why it's valuable, then you can start to think about and talk about why should we try to make it clean enough so that our sons and daughters and their children can make use of it in the future as well. Understanding that for the people of color, this is a very important place. It's an important place in terms of memory, in terms of upbringing, in terms of culture, in terms of celebration, etc. And therefore, it is important to bring it back.
So one of the things that was really important to me about this project was the opportunity to lift up voices from the community and to really kind of, I think of it as like an archaeologist almost, or anthropologist who's kind of like digging back into the past and raising up these stories that haven't been told before.
Water contains memory is almost an understatement. Every culture, every group of people, everyone who has had any relationship with any body of water, you are touching the ancestors when you speak about the relationship to that water. And it may be your ancestors, it may be the ancestors of others, but water is so essential to how we live, how we experience the world, how we think of place, how we think of who we are, who my family is, who are the people that I associate with. You always are coming to the water, one way or the other. You're always coming to the water. You're sharing the water. You're communing in water. You're bathing, communally bathing in water. You're drinking the water. You're your whole sustenance is in the water. But for me, it's also multi-generational. It's not just what do I remember when I was at the water, even when I was growing up in a different place of the country, not only my memories, but it is the cultural memories. It's the practices, the cultural practices, the continuity of the earliest people who've been in a place to the present and linking to the future. We are the stewards of that future. If we, in this generation, in these 10 to 20 years, in these 17 years specifically, if we can make that difference of making the water, the Conestoga River, clean again, or at least clean enough so that we can be eating the fish that come from it, swimming in that river, then we will have bestowed upon the people who follow us something that is priceless. At this moment, we're sitting thinking we're only bestowing a sewer on them, but the river is getting cleaner, and the people who can make it important for everybody to invest in are the people who already live near the river. And that's part of why the river connections are so important. We are creating that link from the past to that future that we don't yet know.